everybody, thanks for joining us. So we are doing a Parent Cafe live on YouTube, and today we're going to be talking about self-care during social isolation. So if you're anything like me, this is adding a whole lot of stress. It's a new kind of stress and we're trying to juggle it. So I want to talk to you about some things that we could probably do to fill our cup a little fuller so we can manage life and stay healthy as we can and just enjoy and try to take a minute to embrace the change that we're going through. So thanks for joining us. Remember to subscribe for new uploads and like and share. Please comment below with anything. I will be reading the comments and looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say, or if there's any topics you would like me to cover in the future. So this will be a 2-part video, so look for part 2 after. So if you have the ability to grab a notebook right now, your calendar or schedule, or just a reminder to do that when you're done watching the video, I highly recommend that. We're going to brainstorm some ideas on things you can do, and I want you at the end to be able to schedule some of that in, because if we don't schedule it, we tend to not make time for it. So I want to make sure you're doing that. So when we're thinking of self-care, there is 8 components to it. And if we're off balance at any one of those, we're going to feel it. So self-care is all about filling your cup. If your cup's not full, you have nothing left to give to other people. And self-care just really helps regulate your overall well-being. So we have the physical, emotional, your social connections, space or environmental, spiritual, your financial well-being, your personal, and work. So physical is making sure that your body's taken care of. So all your physical needs, you rest, physical release, any activities you can do, whatever you're putting in your body is healthy. Doing yoga, stretching, getting, whatever requirement you have for sleep is going to be really important. For emotional, making sure we have stress management, so creating some self-care. Our last video is how to kind of create some sort of normalcy for our kids with a school schedule and our new roles. So anytime you can have some schedule to have some routine built in. You have emotional wellness. So some of you have probably heard of emotional intelligence. So if we're able to forgive, have compassion, have kindness, to regulate that, have emotional maturity to handle things, not hold grudges, that sort of thing is really good for self-care. It's a growth thing. Some days I'm better at it than others, and as long as I take the time to reflect on that, I feel better about it. And I am not here to tell you that just because you're holding a grudge, you're not right to do so. It's a lot of energy to have all those negative things. So the more we can let those go and understand what we have control of, we only have control over ourselves, not other people, it makes it a little easier in life, makes our body a little bit better, a little more centered, right? Socially, so this is a hard thing right now if you are somebody who likes to have a lot of social contact, so there's that. But that's not the only component. So it's being able to ask for help. Social media is going to be big right now because there's a lot flooding in. And if we're letting it override us and create a lot of anxiety and stress, we maybe need to limit our exposure to that. It's good to watch the news and, keep apprised of what's going on or where you can help out. But if you're checking it all the time to see for updates, that's going to create a lot of internal stress. So setting good boundaries for yourself with social media, with media in general, and with other people. So making sure that we understand to communicate our needs, and how to communicate on everyday interactions. Making sure we have a really good support system is going to be really important. And right now, if you can't see people, developing a good support system online, having Snapchats, you can do conference calls, Facebook Messenger. You can do video calls if you have FaceTime, Skype. There's a lot of options out there that are at no extra charge to you. It's really fun to let your kids do that for a play date. Instead, they at least get to see their friends and have some social interaction. So for space, making sure we have that, spatial distance to keep us healthy. a healthy living environment. So making sure everything's safe around us, you know, just the right temperature, the right air quality, that sort of thing, and just whatever's surrounding you feels good. You know, like your feng shui, or everything's, you're not too cluttered if you don't like clutter. If you love it, like, you have that security and stability in your space, and having an organized space. So spiritual stuff doesn't necessarily mean religion, but it very well can be. When I think of spirituality, I think of it as you are finding peace with yourself and your place in the world. It's a sacred space you hold, and I feel like it's like you're okay with that there's something bigger than you, whatever that looks like. So taking time alone, meditation or prayer can help you do that. Having a connection to a community that has like beliefs as you, your connection to nature. You can journal to find some of this, reflection, yoga, things like that help you kind of find your center. Financial is obviously, you know, financial health. So what does that look like for you? Do you know how to save? Are you trying to save right now? This is going to be, you know, it's a big source of contention for us. I think everybody's a little scared, and that's okay. But monitoring what you're spending right now, making sure you have a budget, making sure you're purchasing what you actually need, limiting those wants right now will help. And it's never fun. And when we can splurge a little bit, I mean, try to do it to where it's, you know, not going to hit your budget really hard right now. Personally, taking time to do your hobbies. So, you know, arts and crafts, or building things, or running, or doing lawn care. I mean, you could probably start planting stuff, gardening. There's a lot of things that we all enjoy to do, and those are our hobbies. So making the time to do those is really big. And taking a look at our current situation, some of us have that ability to spend a little bit more time on those hobbies, so I highly recommend you doing that. Taking the time to know yourself, questioning yourself, doing personal development. So some of us will read books. I do that a lot for anything I'm struggling with, to kind of, just gives me some thought, you know, food for thought to help process whatever's going on. Understanding who you are as a person, so having your personal identity. I know once we have kids, sometimes we feel like our role is just mom, wife, housekeeper, maid, butler. Like, it's hard when we have kids, and sometimes it becomes kids in your career, and you lose some of those hobbies, or we only define ourselves by one thing, and we are a whole lot more. It changes over time, and that's okay. But just being okay with who that is. And honoring your true self. So don't try to be somebody you're not. Celebrate who you are. You might be quirky, you might be bossy, you might be really frugal, you might be the jokester. It doesn't matter. That's okay. Like, we are all different, and that's what makes life so much fun, is that we all bring something different to the table. So embrace that. And as far as work, again, it's similar to social, but it's in work. So you're going to want a positive workplace, professional development. Make sure you're taking the breaks you need. If you're working at home, make sure you're taking breaks still. I find that it's even easier for me to get just totally in the zone trying to get some work pumped out, because I'm balancing between taking care of my son and doing that we need to make sure we're taking those breaks to eat, to drink, to even just get some steps in, so we're not so stiff and we're not so tired at the day. So making sure we're just taking care of ourselves. Time management's big. So again, scheduling out your time. If you're juggling a lot, if you've never done a schedule, I really like writing out like 3 goals for the day of what I want to accomplish, and then the tasks and how I'm going to do that. And if I can check those off throughout the day, it feels really good. And sometimes you just have to write out, like, do a brain dump and write out all the things you need to do, and then you prioritize them. So it just kind of depends on the type of work you're doing and how you're going to do that. But I highly recommend those. So with our self-care, some barriers or challenges in order to get that in every day, there's a lot of them. So these are just a few. So right now you might have some limited time alone. I feel like as a parent that's already happening. So when we are playing multiple roles now that we maybe weren't before, it's going to be harder to find that time. You might be covering for people that are sick, whether that be family members, at work. We're going to be stretched a little thinner. Competing priorities, like I need to work because I need to bring home money so I can pay for all the things we have, and that's hard, right? Do you do work? Do you take care of your kid? Do you cook dinner? Do you do the laundry? Do you go run down and make another email? Like it's hard right now to do that. It was already hard, and I'm feeling it, so I know that more of you are too. Your schedule is full, right? So how do you do this? You don't have to do it for hours on end. You could take a little time, or once a week build in a few hours or something, and make sure you're getting that somebody to tag you out so you can take some time for yourself. Some people are in denial that they need self-care. Well, if you keep denying your body that, it's gonna get tapped out. So self-care can look like a lot of things. Like the other night I took a 3-hour bath, and I really needed that because it's the only place I could go, and I could shut the door and turn off everything, listen to my audiobook, and just relax for 3 hours. It was so amazing. And I don't usually take a 3-hour bath, but for me, that was what I needed. That was the place I could do it, and everybody knew I was off limits, so that's what I did. We have limited resources, so I'm finding a lot of people are doing things online. So if you really like to work out, or you're looking for a reason to work out, if you're having the time, there is a lot of free classes. People are doing things that speaking of working out, that's not the only thing there's free classes for right now. So there's a lot of things that we can do. We can have like I know Brush Crazies, you could go pick up a kit and bring it home and do it if you've been waiting to try an oil canvas painting for a while or something. There's a lot of different things. Stress. So when we're stressed out, it is really hard to even feel like we could take a minute to breathe and take care of ourselves. And my son keeps reminding me to stay calm. So it's kind of funny that all my self-regulation things that I've been trying to teach him, he's reminding me of right now. Your fear of it being selfish. So it's hard for us to take that time. So please, please, please be okay with being a little selfish. Like, it's not the bad kind of selfish. We have to take care of ourselves. It's not selfish for you to go eat a salad. It's not selfish for you to go drink your 8 glasses of water. You have to take care of yourself. If you're busy taking care of others, including your kids, some of you have family members you're helping take care of. It's a lot. It's a lot more things to fit into you. And some things are just out of your control. Like, maybe you're sick and some of that self-care isn't happening, or maybe you just don't have access to it. So we have to get a little more creative. So don't feel bad about doing that. So that's where I want to leave this video with, is that there is barriers, but we can always find ways to overcome them. And come back for part 2, and I'm going to give you guys ideas for each of those 8 segments. So thank you very much. Don't forget to like and share, subscribe, comment below, and we will talk to you soon.